welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. It's September 17th, 2019. I want to give you a brief update on what we see playing out right now in the financial markets and the landscape of the U.S. economy. Now, in the last video, I was talking about growing recessionary fears because of the recent yield curve inversion, the dynamic in which we see yields on long-term treasuries lower than yields on short-term treasuries. And while that has been a historic precursor to recessions, it alone cannot be taken as an indication that we're heading towards recession. In the last couple of weeks, we've seen that yield curve inversion disappear. And what we saw was last week, the yield on the Treasury 10-year bond finished at 1.9% from 1.45% where it was just 2 weeks prior. That's a 30% increase in just 2 weeks as money flowed out of bonds massively and back into stocks based on rising optimism for two reasons. Number one, the market is expecting that tomorrow, when the Fed concludes their meeting for this month, they're going to announce another 25-point or basis point decrease in interest rates. The other positive catalyst fueling the market right now is growing expectations that President Trump and President Xi of China will conclude the trade war in very short order. Now, this is where I think investors might be getting it a little bit off. I think the optimism is overblown. While President Trump is very focused on re-election and needs to end this trade war to secure that, China is not in the same boat. We have to keep in mind that they don't have an election coming up next year or ever. They may want to agree to something as an interim deal, which President Trump has indicated he'd be willing to accept, but we may not get the grand bargain that will finalize this trade war once and for all. They may want to hold out to deal with somebody else, perhaps, who may take control of the Oval Office in November 2020. So keep that in mind. Right now what we're seeing is the market is having a lot of positive vibes, but we want to be more cautious and not get all enthusiastic. The stock market is going to take off. We're going to be watching and monitoring closely what happens over the next few weeks because we're at a very critical juncture right now. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen today. We'll be back in touch soon.